Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about something super amazing. So, I hope that I'll just, hello, everyone. Super excited. This is a great conversation to talk about, which is how to run a marathon in your notary business. Okay. So, I wanted to get straight to the point, so it'd be a quick conversation about that. And what I'm trying to say is, how do I say it? The only way that I know how to say it is, haven't you really listened to the clip? Once I play this clip, you're going to understand what I'm going to talk about, right? And once you understand what I talk about, it's going to be so relatable for you, right? And because it's going to be so relatable for you, I feel like I'm going to tell you how this audio helped me understand where I was going, right? Once it helped me understand where I was going in my notary business and how I was able to see it as a long term gain and not a quick turnaround, a quick fix. How many people actually know how long, how many miles is a marathon? This conversation is about specifically running a marathon in your business. Okay. So if you know how long a marathon is, you're going to understand what I mean is this is a long term game. Okay. It's not a short term game. And so once I got that through my mental, right, I was able to level up. I was able to leverage my business to be the person I am today and the person that I want to go and be by 2025, right? So we all have goals, right? With that being said, we have to understand how to run a race, how to run your first mile. Once you understand how to run your first mile in the notary community, being a loan signing agent specifically, then you'll be able to understand how to be successful as a business entrepreneur in the notary space. Okay. So I have the honor to bring up a great motivational speaker who will get the job going about discipline, right? How many we talk about discipline, we talk about hard work, but I don't think people understand how hard it is to run your first half a marathon. I ran my first half a marathon in 2018 in Chicago. Chicago has one of the toughest marathons, and Miss Renee was going to ever run a whole marathon. My brother did. And I'm very competitive, so I didn't want him to be the first one in my family to be able to run um, the word marathon in general, right? Uh, my coach, which her name is Tina, helped me understand that. I'm a sprinter. So in middle school, in high school, I ran track. My best race was like a 200. If you're a sprinter, you understand what I mean. Where the 100 yard race was too quick for Miss Renee, right, to run because I just got started, and then the race was over. But the 200 meter, which is half of a track, like a football track or track, half of that is called the 200 yard race. So when I ran the 200 yard race, I got about 25 seconds. I was done, right? And during that time, I think Olympians were running like 21, 22, 23. So 25, it wasn't bad as a 27 or 29 seconds, but it wasn't the fastest. But I was quick for my age, my time, but I wasn't no Olympian. I take that method to help me understand now in my business. So now let's just say that was, I'm not telling my age. Um, when did I run I was running track at about 11 years old, right? And I'm 31. So 20 years ago, you guys. What I'm talking about, this philosophy and this point. From the age of 11, learning how to be a sprint runner was very important to me, right? It was very important to understand that concept of how can I beat the other person, right? What is the logic? How hard do I need to train? When you're training, just like football players, I'm not sure about basketball player. I was the worst basketball player in general, right? I was that person that always defend and get put in the last 30 seconds of the game, right? That was me because I was not good at basketball, but I was great at football and I was great at sprint track. So those are the things that I specialized in. And stay with me, you guys, because I'm going to talk about how half a marathon is going to help you be successful in your notary business. Okay. So the thought of running a whole mile was hard for me, right? In PE, I don't know how many of you guys in physical training in high school, you was forced to take PE, right? And in PE, it was like one of the hardest things to do, right? They said you have to run a mile, and everyone took, their time. Like the coaches was out there, he had assistants. Sometimes they give you little popsicle sticks, right? Well, at least in St. Louis, Missouri, that's what they did. And you got to hold on to them. You have to get 4 of them in order for you to actually finish. And that was one of the guarantees. Well, back at that time, I think I was running a mile, maybe 6:57 minutes a mile, but I was pooped. You tell a short distance runner to run a 1 mile, that's the hardest thing you can tell them, because we do half a lap. You're telling us to do 4 full laps? That's hard, right? So Miss Renee, back in high school, I would collapse at the finish line. I say I did it. My dad was always embarrassed of me, right? And if he was listening, he was also embarrassed, okay? And so he was so happy for his daughter, but he was embarrassed of what I did. I would collapse, like literally. I did it on purpose because I was exhausted. I was just pooped, right? I had no endurance. And so if you listen to my podcast and the one prior to that, I talked about endurance, right? In the notary industry. This time I'm talking about running half a marathon. Let's fast forward. 2018. I was 28 years old at the time, trying to do the impossible when my brother did, right? And I realized I need a trainer. I can't do this by myself. Being in the military, the most that we have ever done was like, I want to say ran four miles as a platoon, right? And that was a lot for me. Joining the military at that time, it was hard. It was hard work because it was long distance and that's not something I knew. So fast forward, now you're telling me to run 13.6 miles. That's the best training I would ever get in my life. And I did it, I want to say, in about 3 hours and 30 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes. I got to look at my stats. Running 13.6 miles nonstop in September, where it's not LA, where it's hot outside. It's kind of like a little fall in Chicago. So let me tell you what I did. What I did was, this video is going to tell you, okay? So let me play about 60 seconds of this video to help you understand where this other Navy SEAL, well, not other because I'm not Navy SEAL, I was Army, is going to kind of help you understand where you need to go, where your mind shift needs to be in order to stay in the notary field. It's not a short term, it's not a quick fix, it's not my one opportunity. It's a long time, right? Running a half a marathon, you have to train like a year ahead or 6 months in ahead of time, especially if you've never done a marathon before. If you haven't ran more than 6 miles before, it's going to take you to time mentally, right? And being an entrepreneur is no mentally get you to try to understand, where do I need to change my mind for 2022? Where do I need to clean up some of the stuff? Where do I need to focus? What do I need to leave in 2021 and then build yourself up in 2022? Okay? Because in order for you to really have success in this business, you have to have endurance. You got to be able to pick up and run, not just a mile, 2, 3, sometimes 4, right? In order for you to really see the opportunity, right? And there's a lot of people that come to me, ask for consultation, have consultation, and they give up, right? There's some people that they said, hey, you're the last straw. I had another coach before and it didn't work. So I'm trying to give the public something that will last forever, right? If you're new, you're seasoned, and how this can help and benefit you. So I'm going to play this audio.
If you want to eat healthy and feel,
I'm going to play this audio, and I hope that it's going to take away a little bit of the possibility of trying to move forward. Okay, so here we go.
people ask me all the time, though, I lack discipline. How can I get discipline in my life?
Okay, 1 second. All right, so let me know if you understand where I'm going with this and how I'm going to be able to best explain this gentleman. This gentleman name is Jock Wilkin. I murdered his name. I do apologize. I'm not the best person to say names. And he is an amazing motivational speaker, right? And why is he so amazing? He's so amazing because of the fact that he tells the truth, right? And I always like to talk to others about how amazing other people are, right? So let you listen to this, and you're going to understand. You're going to understand where I'm coming from with running a marathon. Okay. All right. So it's called War. It's going to be for 60 seconds, and I'm ready to go.
I don't really like those words. Self-help or self-management or self-improvement. I don't really like what those words have come to mean these days. Because there's a lot of people out there that are constantly trying to improve themselves by looking for the one change. The one change, right? The one change in their life that's going to make their dreams come true. I'm no guru. And I definitely don't claim to be. I'm just a man. But I will tell you this. It isn't one thing. And it isn't 10 things. And it isn't 100 things. It isn't a quick path. And there are no shortcuts. Meditation won't get you there, and neither will a miracle drug or an organic supplement or some superfood. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight. An incessant fight that doesn't stop against weakness and against temptation and against laziness. It's a campaign of discipline. The campaign of hard work and dedication. It's waking up early and going to bed late and grinding out every second in between. Every single day. So, you want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and go find your alarm clock and find your discipline and find your guts and your passion and your drive and find your will. And then you will find your freedom.
So I say all of that to say, he talks about you got to do this business every day. You have to do this business every week. You have to do this business every month, right? Do it for, I would say, if we take 1 mile of a marathon, which is 13.6, stay in this business for at least 13 months and 6 days. Okay? 13 months and 6 days before you say it wasn't working. Before you say, I can't go direct. Before you say, I can't make it to 6,000 or I couldn't make my first 1,000. Look at 13.6 miles as 13.6 days before you quit, before you give up, right? But even if you've been in the game for that long, let's start today to be your half a marathon that you're running in your notary business. Okay? If you want change, if you want goals, if you want to be sustainable, if you want to move to direct, you got to stay in this game for a long time. And I think a long time is a year and a month and 6 days. I think that's fair to say. So how are we going to run this race? How are we going to train for it? How are we going to train to be successful? Whatever success means for you. You can be starting off and that's making your first order, right? You can be, hey, I'm making 100 orders and I just don't want to do 100 a month to make your 10,000, to make your 11 or 12,000. Let's try to be strategic on what our goals are. Not so much short-term goals, more so like, let's cut it up in milestones. So let's talk a little bit. So how did I run how did I get to 13.6 miles when I can barely run 1 mile, when the military only required me to run 2 miles? And we maybe conditioned for 4 at the max? Okay, I must be insane, right? But it's so relatable to the notary industry. It's so relatable. All right, so let's hit it like this. For all the runners that are listening, a 3K is, well, a 5K is 3 miles, okay? A 5K is 3 miles. So if a 5K is 3 miles, let's stay in the game. Our first milestone is going to be our first 3 miles, okay? 3 months. When you have your first milestone, give yourself 3 months to hit that goal, okay? So if that goal is, I want to be able to hit at least my first 500 or my first $1,000, let's make sure that that's milestone 1, okay? If you're like, well, I'm not trying to do that, Renee. I already made $3,000 or I already made 2,500. I'm trying to get to my 6K. Okay. Well, let's give 3 months to give you 6K, right? So that first milestone is going to take 3 months. Okay. Because when you're first running your first race, there's no race called a 1 miler. The only race that it is three miles, which is a 5K. Okay. So let's make that 3 months. You got to stay in the game for at least 13 months and 6 days, which is a year in a month and 6 days. Okay. To run this half a marathon in your notary business. All right. The next one. What is the next level? After you run 3 miles, what is the next marathon that you run? What I recall was I ran 6 miles. And a 6 mile, if I was not mistaken, was an 8K. Okay. An 8K is 6 miles. Okay. All right. So now that's 6 months. Okay. I want you now to put down or listen to how to stay in the notary industry to get to your next success. That's what we're talking about for those that are new listening in it. Okay. Running a 8K is how many miles? Okay. It's 6 miles. That's 6 months. We're going to take miles by months. Okay. So, well, that's five miles. Correct. Google just told me. A 8K is 5 miles. So, y'all lucky. The next marathon is going to be 5 months. Okay. Let's do the second. So, if I'm a new notary, my first marathon, I was trying to get about $3,000. I think that's a real good goal. If you are a seasoned notary and you already made 2,500 and you're trying to get to 6,000 because it's three, let's get you there. Okay, just follow the math, because I think the issue is we jump into this business, we jump into this industry, and we don't have a plan. We saw somebody made 10,000, we saw somebody make 3,000, we saw somebody bring in an extra $1,000, but you don't have a plan for your own. You just want what they got, but you don't know what everything that they did to get to where they are. And most of the time on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, they will tell you the great, but they won't tell you all the failures that they had to do or the obstacles that they had to prepare in order to get to where they're going. They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you that they may have had a death in the family and they still had to push through. That's the worst it can go. They didn't tell you if they had to wake up in the morning every day and take their child to work to do a signing, or hire a babysitter, right, to go out and do that signing, or pay or make food early at noon for their child to be able to eat while they're out all night to do the signing. They didn't tell you that they lived in a box because they couldn't afford rent, right? They didn't tell you that this was their only all be all because they didn't go to college. They don't have another opportunity. They're not telling you that their worker is not good, so they can't get a corporate job. Or they're not telling you when they say, hey, I want to get another job, that they got to call the next employer for them to give them a good recommendation. They're not telling you what they've been through to get to where they're going. They're not telling you their plan, their method, or anything. So because they're not telling you this, we get excited when someone else wins, but they're not telling you the full story of how they got there. So you quit. They're super excited to tell you that they got their first title company on board, but they didn't tell you how many offices that said no to them before they got their first yes. Right? They told you that they made 100,000 in 1 year, but they didn't tell you how many sleeps, how many hours of lost sleep did that take. So I'm here to tell you the truth. The truth is no take some work. And y'all hear that all the time. But I don't think y'all understand what work is. Work is waking up in the morning. You're like, oh, I do that already. Renee, you always talk about that. All the motivational speakers that I know talk about the same thing. You gotta wake up before all the distractions in your life. I'm here to disrupt your life to make you great as a notary. That's my ultimate goal. To disrupt your life, to wake you up, to tell you you're not working hard enough. And some of you guys don't even know what hard work is. And I'm telling you, when I listen to some of my motivational speakers, y'all may think I wake up early, so I must work hard. I tell the people that are close to me, I'm not even working hard enough. I call myself lazy. But to other people, I do 20,000 things. How can Miss Renee be lazy? Because I'm not doing, because I'm always comparing myself to the next person that I want to be, the next milestone that I'm trying to reach. So I'm here to disrupt your life to make you great. So if you're still listening, let's go on this roller coaster, okay? So Google just told us, for those of you that are now listening, we're going on the half a marathon stretch in our notary business. What does that equal? Starting today, I don't care if you're a seasoned notary, a new notary, or whatever. We're goal setting for February 2022. Okay? And how we're going to do it is how Renee only know how to do it. Is to compare it to running a mile. So we're on 5 months, which is 8K. Okay? That is 8K a month. Excuse you for the siren. So I say that to say, running at 8K is 5 months. So now our second milestone is going to be 5 months for our second milestone. What do you want to hit? I said, if I was going to hit it for you, if I was new in the game, I'll be trying to get my first 3K in my first milestone, which is 3 months. My second month, I'll be trying to hit 6K, which is month number 5. Okay? If I'm a seasoned notary and I'm not making $6,000 and I'm already kind of bouncing around between 4 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and maybe 5, but I'm not really hitting 6 consecutively, I'll be going out for 6. Okay? This is message for those. So that first milestone for you is going to be 6K. That second milestone for you should be like at least at 8K. Okay? And sometimes 8K may not, it's what you make of it. That's just me. If that's what you want, that's okay. But if you don't want to think of that like that, just think of every month as an extra 1,000. That's it. It's very simple. If I'm making goals that are not sustainable or reachable for you, just modify and adjust it the way that you can. Okay. Let's move on. So by 5 miles, when I ran my half a marathon for Chicago, right? I did a lot of races in LA, right? Before I actually did the 13.6 marathon in Chicago. All right. So I got a lot of trophies. And I think I should go and get all of my trophies for all of my milestones that I met. Every time there was the next one, my coach would say, okay, we're signing up for the 8K. We're signing up for the 3K. We're signing up for the 10K. People didn't even think there was a such thing as a 10K. That's the next milestone. We're running a 10K marathon. To my understanding, a 10K is 9 miles. Okay? Let's see what it is. What Google tell us. Yeah, what did it say? Yeah. Why do I keep saying 9? A 10K is, to my understanding, it's 9 miles. Okay. Google don't want to tell me. a 10K, 6 miles. Sorry, messed up. So a 10K I ran, which is 6K, 6.2 miles. So let's run that. So that's just one more month. If you're still following me, okay? That's 1 month and about 2 weeks, okay? 1 month and 2 weeks is the third milestone. And I'll do an overview at the end, okay? For those of you that didn't really understand where I'm going with this, okay? So I hope that you guys are writing something down, or you're going to come back and listen to the replay or something to that nature, because this is some good stuff, okay? It's so good that it may be so deep and you have to listen to it again, because it's going to be able to structure your year. I say structure is so important because if you are just, I think my someone told me, if you have no purpose, then what are you doing in life, right? There's many quotes on, if you're going to say yes to anything, then you're going to say yes to everything, right? If you're not willing to practice, then what are you doing? What is the ultimate goal? You're in this race to get to what? Let's make the goals. Let's goal set today, okay? So we did our 1 mile, okay? That's 1 month. We did our 5K, which is 3 miles. We did our 8K, which is 5 miles. That's our second milestone. We did our 3 milestones, which is 10K. All right. Now I ran a 12K. I think it was a 12 or 15. 15K. It's 15. So I ran my 15K. So 15K was 9.3 miles. So if we convert that, that's 9 months, right? In 3 days. 9 months and 3 days. All right. So let me make this really, really make sense, okay? By the time that I had to run 9 miles, I didn't think that I can do it. But I knew that that was the breaking point that I needed to get my mind right to say that this was possible. It was possible. And that's the same as knowing that I would have to go back to corporate if I didn't want to, right? Some people are saying, I want an exit strategy. I want this to work. I hate my job. I don't want to go back. I've been an entrepreneur. This gotta work. It will work if you put in the work. And sometimes y'all don't know what work is. So what is work, Renee? Waking up in the morning. When no one's going to distract you. When your child don't want nothing from you. When your mama not calling for something. When your husband not saying, can you get him some water? Or your partner to tell them to get you some water right in the morning because they know you up. When your sister not calling, your brother not calling you, when the bill collector is not saying anything, when the sales agent is not trying to sell you life insurance or whatever the case is, that's when no one is up. So you can be tunnel vision, laser focused, and do work in your notary business. That's hard work. So I like to say, wake up at 5. What if you're already waking up at 5? What if you got to go to work by 5? What if your child wake up at 5? Then that means you need to wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. All right? You got to wake up earlier. Okay, well, I'm going to be tired. Yeah, you're going to be tired. Now, that's hard work, what you're going to do when you're tired. Okay? Because we're only doing it temporarily. We're only doing it for 13 months and 6 days. If you do this, I promise you, you'll meet your milestones. You won't be that far off of them because you'll be working your business and you will be successful. Okay. Now, when you see that 1 year mark starting today, I don't care where you are in your notary business. I don't care if you've been a notary for a year and you haven't done nothing. I don't care if you've been a notary for a year and that I don't care if you make 10,000. Well, are you trying to make 20? Or let's talk to you of how to be sustainable and make 10,000 where you don't got to be on the road now. Okay? That's the next thing. Okay? So it's a goal for everyone, wherever you are in your business. Okay? So for those of you that need an overview, here I go. All right. I hope you got your pen and paper. All right. So 13.6 is a half a marathon. So what that means is 1 year, 1 month, and 6 days in our notary business. We have to make sure that we stay on point. Someone just recently told me, Miss Renee, I know you love King Richard so much. I just want to let you know that it was just nominated for a Grammy Award. I said, what? And those of you who are now new to me or are first time listening to me or whatever the case is, King Richard is one of a beautiful movies that I have watched. And why is it so beautiful? It's so beautiful because of the fact that Richard Williams, which is Venus and Serena's father, who helped Venus get to her first contract at $12 million. And people look at it from most of the angle that they want you to look at it. But Miss Renee look at it from a business minded perspective. That man was a businessman. He got the coach to buy him a house, move his whole family from Compton to Florida, to hire him on a team. I mean, on the he said no to the first $2 million contract because he knew he can be great. He knew that this was better. That's what I want you. That's why I love the movie, because it showed me you gotta write things down. Okay, let me pull back. He wrote the manuscript before he had kids. He wrote their destiny before they even was a millionaire. Before they were even someone. Before he even named them. That is just boom. And today, if you never saw the movie, it's on HBO. He wrote 42 years ago because Venus is 42 years old. So 44 years ago, about 2 years prior to her being born, he wrote the manuscript of their lives. He wrote the manuscript. He wrote it down. He said, I had enough of living broke. I had enough of living in Compton. I had enough of all of this. I want better. I'm a security guard, and I want better for my life, for my family. He had a bunch of kids before then. So he wrote the manuscript. And when he wrote the manuscript, he followed it. He followed it, you guys. He followed it to a T. People be like, he crazy. He's like, I don't care. People say, you don't know what's best for you. You're not the expert. He said, okay. And he kept following the plan that he wrote. Why am I talking about that? Because if you're listening, I'm pretty sure you don't got a plan. Not a plan for your notary business. You probably have a plan for your life, a plan for your child, a plan for your marriage, a plan for something, plan for buying a house, but you really didn't carve out a plan for your notary business. So let's plan it out. Let's move forward in 2022. Let's plan that. Let's make that plan. That's what you're here for. But I'm trying to tell you, it's a half a marathon that we got to run together. Okay. So this is my final overview. We're going to look at how many miles of a marathon, which is 13.6, and look at them as months. Okay. So we have about 13.6 months. Okay. and we're going to break down multiple different marathons. Okay? Milestones. Milestone 1, milestone 2. Miss Renee is writing milestone 3 and milestone 4. So milestone 1 is going to be a 5K. And if you're not a runner, that's 3 miles. So if you're in the notary business, that's 3 months. Milestone 2 is going to be an 8K. That's 5 miles. So that's equivalent to 5 months. The next one. Okay, the next one. What did we say? We said prior we was going to run a 10K. A 10K is 6.2 miles, which is 6 months and 2 days. Milestone 4 is a 15K, which is 9.6 or 9.3? It was 9.3 miles, which is 9 months and 3 days. And our last milestone is 5 miles, which is the finish line. I know y'all already know that, which is a half a marathon, which converts to 13 months and 6 days. Now that we have 5 milestones, let's plug in the numbers of where you want to go. Once again, this is endurance. You're not coming into this is called endurance. Okay? And what that means, is you're going to have to stay in. You're going to stay in to the finish line. If you listened earlier, my first time of running my first marathon was the hardest thing I ever did. But I knew that mentally it was going to take some work. Okay? And I had to stop doing things that wasn't going to work. And by stop doing things that's not working is everybody thinks that I need social media. Well, first of all, when I first made my first half a marathon, my first 10,000 in the notary industry, when I did my first 10,000 in the notary industry, it took me about, what do I say? It took me April all the way into December. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So I made my first 10,000, which is 8 months. So we put this in the equation. I was at milestone 4. Okay. Within 9 months and 3 days, which is 9.3, I made about 10,000. Okay. So I say all of that to say, let me play the video one more time. And let me play the video one more time. And I hope that you guys got the message that you gotta write a plan for your future. If King Richard did it, you can too. Stick to the plan. Stick to the milestone. And how you stick to it You gotta go on sabbatical. What is sabbatical? If you are a professor at a university, they go away for 1 year. 1 year they go away for, and they study and they grind and they study and they grind. Okay? And then when they come back and they publish. They publish. They publish an article, they publish a journal, they get recognized, they get awards because they spent 1 year grinding. Relax, but grinding. Can we do that? Can we spend at least 1 year in the notary industry grinding? What does that look like? It looks like getting up in the morning and working your business before you go to work, working your business before you have that first signing. A first signing, printing out documents, scanning is not working in your business the way that I'm trying to tell you to level up and leverage where we're going in 2022. Wake up. If you're up at 5 already, get up at 4. If you're up at 4 already, get up at 3. Spend at least an hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours in your notary business before you do anything for anything else. Be disciplined. Have self-discipline. Be great on purpose. Okay? And that's what hard work is. Yeah, doing the labor of this business is a lot of work. But I'm telling you, work hard. And I just define working hard is. When I get up, on every Wednesday, I get up on Clubhouse at 3 a.m. So I got to get up by 2:30 just to be present at 3 a.m. to deliver notary gems to you guys of just my life. And trust me, I'm not done. I got goals. I got goals that I want to reach. And I'm not stopping until I'm dead. Okay? I'm not stopping. And if you really know me from prior to notary, you're going to know that Miss Renee, I got nothing to lose but everything to gain. I got nothing to lose and everything to gain out of all the hard work I'm going to put out. So I got about at least 15 to about 40 more years in me. I pray to God. How many more years do you have in you? And let's grind. Let's get up. Let's work. Let's be tunnel vision. Let's be laser focused. Let's go on sabbatical for a year. Let's go on this half a marathon run. That's the challenge. That's the challenge right now. Let's go on the half a marathon journey with me. And let's pop up March officially. March is 13 months from now. And if we add 6 days from now, that's March the 16th. By March the 16th, where are we going to be? Of 2023. That's the half a marathon challenge. And it's going to take work. First milestone, second milestone, third milestone, fourth milestone, fifth milestone. We ran it. And if you're kind of close to where you are, but let's write the plan. How many people have already wrote that plan already? If you wrote the plan, come on. If you got to modify the plan, you got to adjust the plan, let's do it. Okay? But if King Richard showed us the answers, he wrote a book before he even published the movie, all we got to do is exactly what he did to reach, which is he wrote it, and now today the manuscript is being published on HBO, on your TV. He had 42 in the making, 42 years in the making, but it didn't take him 42 years to do it. It only took him about 12 years because I think was she 15 or was she 12 when she got her first 12 million contract? That's all it took. It kind of took him only a decade to create it. I'm only asking for a year. If this man created a manuscript and he spent a decade with his plan, we can spend a year in ours. All right. Well, I say all of that to say, I hope that everyone can be great and be great on purpose. Officially, I have set the dates for my conference, and I am hosting the Sustainable Notary Conference. And I hope to see you in your, at least your second or your first milestone. Okay, let's be great on purpose. All right. And if you're interested in more about how to be a great notary, how to be sustainable, check me out on Clubhouse on Wednesday at 3 a.m. I've been doing it for over a year. Okay. So go ahead and do it. And if you all know me, I told you a couple weeks ago, I've only been a notary for a limited amount of time. A limited amount of time. 2 years, I think 1 month. And within 6 months, I got my first, not 6 months. In 1 month, I got 2.5. In 2 months, I got 6.3. By my 4th month, I got about 8,000. I almost hit 9 by the 5th month. And then by the 8th month, I hit 12,000. You can do it. Waking up at 3 a.m., I get on Clubhouse to give you guys more knowledge, more motivation to be there, to speak exactly what I'm doing in real life. So now having a signing service, I got to get up. If I'm putting out orders and my team is putting out orders on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, I got to get up, right? And before I can even go to work, I got to work what my milestones are. I got to work my future plan for 2022, right? So does that mean I sleep? Baby, I sleep, okay? Don't worry about Miss Renee getting sleep, because I sleep. I can tell you that. I sleep, okay? So I hope that you got something out of it. I hope that you were encouraged. Let me close out and replay this video for audio purposes, and you can understand exactly where we came from.
I don't really like those words. Self-help or self-management or self-improvement. I don't really like what those words have come to mean these days. Because there's a lot of people out there that are constantly trying to improve themselves by looking for the one change. The one change, right? The one change in their life that's gonna make their dreams come true. I'm no guru. And I definitely don't claim to be. I'm just a man. But I will tell you this. It isn't one thing. And it isn't 10 things. And it isn't 100 things. It isn't a quick path. And there are no shortcuts. Meditation won't get you there. And neither will a miracle drug or an organic supplement or some superfood. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight. An incessant fight that doesn't stop against weakness and against temptation and against laziness. It's a campaign of discipline. The campaign of hard work and dedication. It's waking up early and going to bed late and grinding out every second in between. Every single day. So, you want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and go find your alarm clock. find your discipline, and find your guts and your passion and your drive, and find your will. And then you will find your freedom.
All right, that's all I have for you guys. It's been a good hour. Take care, be great on purpose, and I challenge you to do the marathon with me. 13.6 miles.